your initial thoughts?
I watched the series as someone who has lived in Chicago my whole adult life, worked at the state's attorney's office during the original trial. So it wasn't that some of the allegations were new related to pre-2008, but watching and listening to the women who said that they were survivors of what happened, it was heartbreaking, it was sickening. And again, these are allegations, and that is why it's important that we recognize that this is not, we don't have an open investigation because of the docuseries, but if there were people who have been impacted or affected, we certainly believe that we should know about that and do an investigation if warranted.
Right. Is there a statute of limitations here? In terms of people calling you, from what years would this be active?
Yeah, so we haven't put a time limit on when people can call because the statute of limitation will vary based on when the incidents happen. Again, we just saw in that docuseries, so it was 6 hours, that may not be representative of everything that we know. And so people have to call us first, and then we can go back and look and see what appropriate statute applies. But anywhere from 3 years to upwards of 25 years.
Yeah, and this is something that has really hit home for you because you are a survivor of sexual assault.
Yeah, someone had asked me a while ago about mentioning the fact that I was a sexual assault survivor when I was running for this office. And I think it was really important to me then, and especially now. I was assaulted by 2 strangers. I didn't call the police.
Okay, this title is Bring Them Out. Bring them out. So I wanted to show the clip of Kim Fox, and the lady in Chicago, the prosecutor of Chicago, Kim Fox. And basically, when I'm saying bring them out, I want to know, Kim Fox, why you don't have a 1-800 number up there for the people that assaulted you? Why you don't have a sketch, a picture, a name in that phone number for people to call in? Do you know these people that assaulted me? Because I want justice. And once again, is this because you're a politician, this is political for you? Because Robert is a big name? Is it? Let's bring them out. Let's bring your accusers out. And that's why I said over and over again to all these women that's been violated, and then bring forward the person that violated you. And that's why I said these people are using Robert as the punching bag and to take it out on Robert. And she putting this much energy into Robert Sylvester Kelly. I think she needs to put that energy into the people that violated her. So Kim Fox, we calling them all out. Since we calling out people, come on, let's call out the people that violated you. Let's get their names. Put that number up there. Tell those people in Chicago who that person is, or the men that did this to you. And let's get this done. Let's put it out there. Let's put it out there. Let's bring justice for you, Kim Fox. Let's bring it out.
I had been dating this person before I graduated and after. So that relationship, that was really, I felt like when I met R.Kelly, I kind of was in the mode of recovery. So I just wanted to feel important. I wanted to feel like I mattered to somebody. My first relationship, this person had ran me over with their car, broke my foot. I had been stabbed behind this individual. So it was like, I really was not in a place where I shouldn't have been dating anybody.
At 19, at 18, I had my first real relationship. That was the most abusive, crazy relationship I ever had. That was physical. This person had ran me over with his car, drugged me out of his house by my hair, thrown food on me in public places.
So let's bring him or her out. Let's bring him or her out, Faith Rogers. Bring out some pictures, some names, and let's get some charges, brought onto these people. Him or her, ran over your foot, through food at you in public places, pulled your hair, jumped on you, made your life miserable. You said this was the worstest, relationship in your life. So let's bring them out. Let's bring all these people, these people that violated y'all. Let's bring them out. What is it? The title of him or her is, the name is not grand. The name doesn't have a big buck on it. You want justice, right? Let's bring them out. Bring him or her out. Give us the name of this person that beat you up and ran over you and physically and mentally abused you. Let's not use Robert for your punching bag. Let's get the real people out that did all this harm to you, and let's get their names out into the public. I don't care if they the average Joe, they broke and they don't have a dime to their name, that you can't sue them and you can't use their name to launch your modeling career or launch your some kind of endorsement. Let's bring them out. We don't care if they the average Joe. Let's bring them out. Give us the name of him or her. Faith Rogers.
I was sexually abused when I was 4, when I was 6, and when I was 8 years old.
And lifted off my shoulders, and to know that he's still out there doing this to other women it's mind-boggling, and I don't want it to continue anymore. I do not. Abuse is not fun.
So I did not hear the person's name. I did not see the person's face that molested her at 4, 6, and 8 years old. 4, 6, and 8 years old. But you are going to crucify a man by the name of Robert Sylvester Kelly for a person that presented themselves as an adult showing a fake ID, which the judge didn't know, the prosecutors didn't know, the defense team didn't know, the spectators didn't know, even the people that did security check and checked ID did not have any idea that this girl had a fake ID, fake identification. But y'all want to hold Robert accountable for her actions. Y'all expect for him, like, we didn't know, but you, Robert, because you're Robert Sylvester Kelly, you are Kelly, you supposed to know. We didn't know because we thought she was an adult, which he thought as well. And so y'all accept it, but you're not outraged, and you don't feel outraged and want to go at the man's throat that molested this person at the age of 4, 6, and 8. Bring him out, Jerronda Pace. Bring him out. Or he's just the average Joe.
At the time, knowing that I was not the only woman in his life, I was okay with it because I felt like he was honest. I was married before. My husband, he was abusive as well as he was a cheater.
Okay, Ashanti McGee. Why we don't have a name or a picture of your husband on these Lifetime of Lies? Why we don't? Let's bring them out. Bring them out. What is your husband's name? We want to we want to bring it out. We want all these abusive people, all these molesters. We want to bring them out. So come on, women, bring them out. Let's get some justice for y'all. Let's get some justice for y'all, Ashanti McGee. They said a statute of limitation. Kim Fox said, 23 years? Come on, let's bring them out. Let's bring them out. Let's see the pictures and videos and let's tell a story of your husband abusing you. Come on, bring out his name. Put him on the wall of shame.
I pretty much was on the street more than I was at home. I was staying out late. I had no sense of direction. Me and my friends were running the streets. That's what we did.
We were all running from different challenges.
We all had our own challenges at home. Either rejection, abuse, or just not really feeling like you fit in.
My mother and I had some tension in our relationship. She had a boyfriend that was abusive to me, and my mother knew that he was physically abusive, and so I did feel like she did not protect us the way that I feel like I would protect my daughter. So I was angry with her for that, and that's where I was at when I met Robert.
Okay, once again, why did Lifetime Alive then post these pictures of your mother's boyfriend and give his name? Hey, I guess what? Not well known, no money, average Joe.
I met Robert. I met him in Hyde Park. A friend of mine and I were on a bus, and we saw his car, and we saw him. And we got off the bus and ran over to his car because we wanted to meet him.
They make it seem as if Robert pursued these women, and we have Tiffany Hawkins saying that they got off the bus and saw Robert and ran to him. So, we have the public is out here with these narratives that Robert is, got his little radar, riding around with a radar, can spot an underage girl. So I wanted to add that, in it as well.
He made me feel like he believed in me. I always told him everything about me. I told him about my abusive relationship with my husband, and he helped me get out of that situation.
Okay, Lifetime of Lies and Lanita Carter. Why we don't see a video? Why we don't see a picture? Why we don't hear the name of your husband that abused you? Right? We're bringing awareness. Okay? Is it your husband doesn't have fame and fortune? What is it? That's the question.
My grandfather was a Baptist preacher, but he was also the first man I ever saw beat a woman. And it wasn't so much what my grandfather did that changed me, because I accepted that he was a monster. It's what my grandmother didn't do that changed me. Because the very next day, she got up and made that man breakfast like nothing ever happened. Like, my grandmother was so elegant, and what she taught me about abuse is you deal with it as a lady of grace. You have to understand that my grandmother was also the first lady. So she's sitting in a pulpit covering her bruises, while my grandfather is up in the pulpit. And it's like the same hands that you are taking to christen babies and cast out demons are the same ones that you use to whoop ass. Monday through Saturday, you are hell on wheels, but Sunday, you're an archangel.
Andrea Lee is proudly giving the name of her kid's father out there and going on a tour, bashing tour. So, let's bring out Papa. If Papa deceased, sorry about that as well. But they are bringing Michael Jackson out of the grave. They're bringing Rick James out of the grave. So let's call these people out. You're no shame in your game for bringing out, your kid's father's name. Is it, he's a wealthy man or was wealthy and his name is out there in the public. He's a R&B artist. He's this star, celebrity. I mean, is it that? Or is it that you're upset and you just want to bash this man and bring him down, and you don't have that lifestyle anymore. What, I don't know. What is it? So what I'm saying to Andrea Lee, if you're proudly to put your kid's father out there, be proudly to put Papa out there. Let's go out and protest and shut the church down and mute him from being a pastor, and and things like that.
I survived several different types of sexual violence. When I was first physically abused, the person who molested me was right downstairs. I was 6 years old. As a survivor of sexual violence myself, as a person who was struggling, trying to figure out what healing looked like for me.
The meaning of this content is we have Miss Me Too here advocating for women. And she wanting these women to speak out. Tell on your rapist, predator, abuser. Not in those order. But tell who they are. And I see on here that we're not saying the name of the abuser, the predator, nor the rapist. Let's speak out, but let's speak out on the wealthy. Let's speak out on the wealthy. And I'm like, okay, we have a platform here, and a lot of them's like, we're using this platform, and we're gonna bring, Robert Sylvester Kelly down, but R.Kelly. We're gonna bring the brand down, and we need a shakedown. We do, as the doctor say, we need a shakedown, because when you have someone speaking out on millionaires, but they're not speaking out on the average Joe. You said this happened to you. So if this happened to you before you met this rich and powerful man, why not speak out on the average Joe? Why not show a picture, a video, give his name and bring that person's name up, he or she? Why not? Why we're not speaking on these people? I see Miss Me Too, she's saying, she's talking about it, but she's not mentioning any names. But when it comes to a celebrity, these women are excited about speaking about a well-known person, but sweep the average Joe under the rug. Let's talk about Uncle Ray Ray. Let's talk about Mommy's boyfriend. Let's talk about the man that was downstairs. Let's talk about the neighbor. Let's talk about grandma's husband that's the pastor. Did you say anything? Did you say his name, what church he was pastoring at? He shouldn't even be a pastor. And if some of these people are passed away, they bringing them out the grave. They bringing Michael Jackson out the grave, Rick James out the grave. So let's bring them out. Let's bring them all out. If we're proudly having a tour, going on tour to bash a man and not giving him his due process, and not remembering that a person is innocent until proven guilty, and we're allowing people to mute this person and take away these people's livelihoods, come on, let's bring average Joe out as well. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it all.
It happened. It just means we don't know. And remember that when you're talking about something as serious as rape, you're talking about sending somebody to prison where they might get raped. So right. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make a move that serious until I'm 100% sure. And so I think with Deshaun, I hope that that's not the case. We know of examples of men going overboard when it comes to women. It's not out of the question. But until there's proof and evidence, I'm not interested in moving on any of that. The other thing too is that that I think undermines the credibility of any accuser is that you're not talking about going after a random guy. You're going after a guy that's made $100 million or whatever. So the possibility of a shakedown must be considered because everybody knows the most vulnerable entity in America is a black man. And so if you accuse a black man of anything, a lot of black men will pay you millions of dollars just to make you stop accusing him. And that right there is a predatory act within itself. So while we can certainly and should talk about predatory behavior on the part of black men toward other people, we must talk about the way black men are preyed upon, particularly when they're in those positions of power and prominence and wealth. Lastly, I think that just brother to brother is very important that we as black men have an awareness that people are out to get you. I heard this lady called me. Okay, check this out. I wrote a story maybe 12 years ago, a long time ago, in AOL Black Voices about Lawrence Taylor getting caught up with that young girl. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that now, but he got
young, but yeah.
And hooked because I guess he liked the hookers and stuff. And I wrote an article about it, and I got a call from a woman who knew that girl. And basically, she told me the most fascinating story I'd ever heard in my life. I'll never forget it. I'm in my jaw drop in the kitchen as I'm listening to her tell this story, and it sounded very credible to me. And she basically said that this group of girls, they will research, rappers and athletes and ballers that come into town, and they would figure out what they like and how to basically trap them. She said that they knew, what you like to drink, what you like to talk about. They knew what kind of girls you like, if you were more likely to get with a jump off or not. And they would plant that girl in front of you. They had fake IDs, like they were like the CIA, man. And so what they would do is they would lure the guy back to like a hotel, and they would give him a drink, like, "Hey, baby, drink this." And so a lot of guys like, "Oh, you a cute little thing. Like, I'm gonna just do whatever you tell me, right?" So they would drink it, and they would be knocked out because they would put something in their drink. And while the guy was asleep, they had a 15-year-old. Now she had a fake ID, so they didn't even know she was underage. But they would put her in the bed with the guy and take pictures. And then when the guy woke up, they would say, "We got these pictures of you in the bed with an underage girl, and if you don't give us $10,000, it was like ghetto extortion. It wasn't like no $1 million and up. They would ask for like 10 grand. That's very specific. She said they would ask for $10,000. And they said, if you don't give us $10,000, we will send these pictures to your team, to the media, and to your wife." And most of the guys paid up. Her claim was that Lawrence
Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, thank you. That Lawrence Taylor was the guy who said, "F you, I'm not paying." So next thing you know, the little girl sitting next to Gloria Allred in tears saying, "Look at what this man did to me." Now, again, this was what her story was. I'm just sharing what was told to me. And honestly, it sounded very credible.
He can easily replace me. I need to buckle down. I need to do what he wants me to do, especially if I want to stick around. Like, this is a celebrity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Diminish your credibility. That's the nature of this work. And so I am, a fierce advocate for making sure that we give space for that, but also that we do this right. These are allegations, and Mr. Kelly has the right to have these allegations fully vetted. He should not be assumed to be guilty without those allegations being vetted.
Looking at some of the questionnaires on the upcoming trial for Robert Sylvester Kelly, and looking at and listening to Kim Fox when she's making these statements that she's a victim. And do we need someone like that that's running these cases? And I think that, like I said, it should be a shakedown. So when we have someone like Kim Fox that, states that she was victimized by some strangers. Do we need someone like that on Robert Sylvester Kelly case? Because will she be doing this to seek revenge on the two men that violated her? Will she use Robert Sylvester Kelly as a punching bag, as well as the founder of Me Too? And those are some things that we need to talk about. A shakedown. We need to do a shakedown. Okay, you've been molested, or you've been, raped, you've been violated. So I don't know if this case is good for you. Okay? Because all these women that have spoken, they didn't bring these alleged predators, violators out. They didn't bring them out. They didn't mention their names. They didn't, give addresses, pictures, videos of these people, who they are, where they work, so people can march and, stop their livelihoods and get some investigations launched on them. And so I am putting this video out here for people to see exactly what I'm saying here. If you can highly speak on someone that's popular, a celebrity, well-known, a wealthy man, and all I hear is these powerful men with money. That's all I hear. But I don't hear them speaking on the average Joe. I don't see these women pointing out the people that ran over them and got them stabbed, and the pastor that's slapping his wife, and the man or woman that molested a child, a child 4, 6, and 8 years old. This is what this video is about. And yes, I did throw some extra clips in there. As I was looking at some things, I'm like, okay, while I'm doing this, just put those people out there too, showing these different lies and stories that they're telling, and how Lifetime of Lies chopped and screwed so much. And as we can remember, we had Dominique Gardner to say they switched that stuff around with my tears, when they were saying, you ready to speak, Dominique? And Dominique was crying, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's crying, what did he do to her? And just so they can sell a story, the Lifetime of Lies series. And so Dominique basically said, when they were talking to me and I was talking to them about Robert, and for some people that don't know, we're talking about R.Kelly. And so she said, no, what I was crying about was how they were treating Robert. He was locked up and he shouldn't be locked up. Yes, he might need help, but he's a good man. He was nice, and I love him, and I hate to see what he's going through. And those were the tears when she walked away. That's what she walked away from, that telling that story. So they cut and edit and made it to paint Robert as a monster. They had the dark pictures, the cigar smoke, the horror music and things, and the hard beat of drums, to paint this story of this man without giving him his due diligence, without giving due process. It's not right. And when I say, if you're proudly to speak on a wealthy man, let's speak on the average Joe. Let me see these people. Let us see them. Say their name. Show some pictures of them. Let's take away their livelihoods. Let's get some investigation launched on them. So thank you all for viewing this video with Texas Black Diamond on the channel Texas Black Diamond ENT. And please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss a thing. And make sure you drop your comments down below. How do you feel about it? We need a total rebuild. We need to demolish and rebuild our laws. And I'm saying this to say, because as women, we're not going to win this way. This is not how you win. We will not win playing a dirty game. We want equal pay. We want, equal opportunity. And then we have this young lady that was speaking with the lady founder of Me Too, saying, well, we want y'all to hire more women, and things like that. So we have to look at it like, wait a minute, these businessmen is like, wait a minute, I'm scared to hire a woman because, I'm not even scared to bring them in to do interview, because if I don't hire them, they can go and say that I did something to them. Or, you can be like Chromo, and Chromo, with their background, Italian people. I think Chromo is Italian. They kiss on men and women on each jaw. And he's, when you listen to the women, he asks me. He didn't do anything to violate a person. So it's like, what do we use to take down a person? Do we take a simple act? He asked me, could he kiss me? Or do we take a man, he forced me to kiss him. He put a gun to my head. He had a knife. He manhandled me. Or do we take, I was dating him and we had, intercourse, and I'm mad now because he left me, and, I don't have anything else, and I felt like I've been used. And so I need to press charges because I had sex with him. I've been used, and I'm mad and I'm upset. Relationships, there are breakups. People have, relationships, and some people just have sexual relationships. And so it's up to the adult to be an adult, to know what they want to do in the bedroom. As women, we should know our worth. And once again, we have so many women that's using their vaginas for an ATM machine and a resume. A lot of women feel like they can have to sleep their way to the top. So I will feel ashamed, and I will feel ashamed and hold myself accountable sleeping my way to the top, because I feel like what I worked hard for and went to school for, I didn't have to do it because I slept my way to the top. I didn't use my brain to get what I felt like I deserved by going to school, going to college, working hard and things like that. So a lot of women want to take the easy route. So like I said, we need to do a shakedown. We need to rebuild our laws on what's fair and what's not fair for men, women, boys, and girls. So y'all have a great day. See you soon.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All you did was get rich out these war crimes. It's a conspiracy. Who's the terrorist? The U.S. government must be the terrorist.